Hi there, this is Mike of Nearly Enough Dice, and this is the Kerbal Space Program. As you can see, the Puffin Refit mission is around the moon. And we've got a reasonably circular orbit, and we're trying to meet up with the Platinum Puffin. So I'm just going to more or less randomly add a maneuver node that should take us to the Puffin's orbit. And I was gonna... So that's how close I'd be if I went on there, which is obviously quite a ways. Okay, so by going forward one orbit, you can see that the meeting line goes from there to there, which means somewhere in this orbit, so I'll go back one, somewhere in this orbit there is a place where I will meet up. So, right. I'm going to have to not just move the orbit around, but also adjust it, because I'm not actually as circular as I would like. Or parallel is perhaps would be a better term. So as I move around, you can see that the orbit doesn't actually quite... That's getting quite close there. And I don't know if this... what I would quite like is if you would tell me what with the rendezvous thing, it would tell me the information like after the current maneuver node, as in how close am I going to get. So how close are we there? That's still 16 kilometers, which is quite a lot. Now, is that? I'm trying to work out which. There we go, that's better. Because it's 8, which is actually almost workable. 3. Alright, oh well, I've lost a bit there. 3.7. Okay, so I need to... By zooming in, I can see that the issue there is mostly to do with the orbit's not... I'm not going in enough, so the orbit would still be outside. So I've increased the distance, because now I've changed the amount of the orbit. I've changed how long it's right. Separation 2 kilometers. So by change, it's always fiddling. You change one thing, that throws other things out of balance. It's all about timing. By changing the amount of prograde retrograde burn I do, that is going to change how long it takes me to get to that, to get to my new periapsis, and that's going to change how long it takes for. That's going to change the distance that my target travels, which means I need to fiddle exactly when I start the burn and time to send the time. Now I'm going to do my adjust the thrust limiter thing, because that's I'm pointing, you can't see. The burn time, the burn time was very, very short, and thus difficult for me to operate. So what I'm going to try and do is bring that up to a nice even number, 2 seconds. Well, I need to wait until 2 seconds before the node, and the node goes for 4 seconds. So that's a relatively easy thing to that's an easy amount to understand, and I'm doing it at pretty much. I'm doing it more or less at full throttle as well, which has the advantage that I'm not fiddling around with the shift and control keys to fiddle with the throttle. I'm just going full stop, and that makes life a lot easier. So I'm just going to go warp to slightly closer to the time, and I'll no doubt have to make some adjustments. I always do. especially when I have to move off. We'll have to follow the maneuver node indicator on the nav ball. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to see what that leaves us with. That leaves us. Well, I'm not going to make any adjustments at all. It's like a 2-kilometer intercept. That will do just nicely. Pity can't do warp to intercept. That would just be so handy. So I'm going to warp to here. In fact, what I might as well do is just go into map mode. Oh, good lord. I'm in target, I'm in prograde, I don't want to be there. I'm basically already, that's about as good as I'm going to get, so I want to stop my relative motion now. Oh. Being a bit precious, actually. Right, we'll just. That's going to blow that away, and we're going to bring that around. I'm just thinking about how to get where I want to place that, where I want to place myself relative to the target indicator, in order to get the try and center the prograde marker on that target indicator. Because if you do that, if that means that I am actually heading straight towards it as opposed to off to the side slightly, which is going to make life a little easier. So I'm just going to time warp. And so we're getting closer and closer and closer. And the time to start killing the velocity is when it's basically, oh, I can see it, that's really cool. When it's basically exactly 90 degrees. So when it's going completely sideways compared to me. That is the time to start killing the speed. I never can quite wait for that. Right, there we go. So, in fact, I'm going the wrong way. I overdid it. Got quite a lot of delta V left in this thing, so. All right. Have I? Yeah, I've actually thrust limited it, so that's probably a good thing. I may even want to thrust limit it a little bit more, so that I can do some pretty fine maneuvering. That's what I'm going to want to do eventually. Okay. Should have moved immediately to retrograde as soon as I started moving at all. dokie, pick and pokey. Now this is where whoa. Oh, I see. So it's actually directing me towards the capsule. That's what it considers to be the target. And I'm just going to turn the craft. I think this is where I want it. Yes. So that the keys correspond to what I'm used to. Basically, we're just going to try going forwards pretty slowly. Possibly what I needed to do. Don't really have target. I can't say lock to target on this. Maybe I wanted to go for that. I've made my choice. Really should have put some RCS on this. I don't think I'm going too fast for it to cause a problem. Okay, we have docked, as it were. So I can now control from here. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to do this. So I suddenly realised that, well, I could just leave it there, I guess. I was about to chuck that off. I was thinking, no, why bother? Might as well keep it. We will... Oh, the pivot is free, so I'll leave the pivot. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it. I could have put... Do I have Werner? I can't remember if I've got Werner engines. I could have put Werner engines on this. But basically what I was thinking of is when I want to eject this, I want to eject it towards the moon and hopefully come up crash it. Now, I really just want to see... Right, let's get all the panels out. Let's just get silly. I don't actually genuinely know whether or not I need... I mean, I've got 8 solar panels here. Even though they're not gigantors or anything. And I did some tests on the ground, and I think 4 is really all you need. I kind of went, oh, but obviously with the moon you're further out, but you're not really, are you? When you think about it, your orbit is your orbit. Essentially, the moon. I'm orbiting around the moon. The moon is orbiting around Kerbal. So, effectively, on average, I'm getting as much sunlight as doing it on Kerbal. Sorry. Ooh, look at that! Right, if you look at the surface of the moon and try and find a good landing space, the inside of the craters might be the best option, right? Although I get no signs even for recovering, that is 12 data. So I'm telling it to recover, to process that. That was done quite nice. East far side craters. So if I go... I'm not quite sure who's where. So if you EVA reports, it's high above the moon. Okay, so keep that data, and then board, and then review stored data. 20 data. That's 20 data from something that actually would not have given any extra science. Yes. So I believe I was discovered. So now it's got 32 data, which you can eventually turn to 32 science. Admittedly at 0.216 science per day. I'm going to start the research purely to see what that does to our power situation. It's operational, researching, and my electric charge seems to be holding up. Hurrah! So what I'm going to want to do is, and I think this is going to be the next mission, is to do another steel snake mission. There are some of these points here that actually require stuff to happen on the surface. So send a steel snake in, do a polar orbit, get lots and lots and lots of EVA and gravioli science, land, preferably somewhere on the equator, or preferably somewhere, and also try and get these things. Land somewhere like here where you need to, I mean, there are places where I need to get surface samples. And if it's close to the equator, if it's like one of these ones, for example, I should have enough delta V to get all that science, land, plant a flag, because I've got another plant a flag mission, rendezvous with the Puffin, put all the science on the Puffin, and you get a huge science bonus. I don't know if you remember back to the one when I was doing on Kerbal, you got like +1 science occasionally, but that was like, you know, +12 and +20. For science, I had in fact already done. So if I'd put a thermometer on this thing, I would be able to get even more. Yes, so that's going to be cool. So I'm just going to have to add more science on here. But that is going to be the next mission. So thanks very much for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you've been enjoying these videos. Come visit nearlyenoughdice at nearlyenoughdice.com, or we're on Facebook and Twitter as nearlyenoughdice. And until next time, reach for the stars.